New York City are evolving. Now, that should be a given considering their status as a Citigroup-owned club, but their evolution in terms of recruitment and personnel has been timed perfectly with the MLS's respective tactical rise. After putting in one of their greatest displays of the season against FC Dallas last time out, the fluidity within this young and promising side is beginning to prevail in ways that we haven't seen before. The beginning iteration of the New York City franchise featured the likes of David Villa, Andrea Pirlo, Frank Lampard and Jack Harrison, who, albeit, was a prospect at the time. But it's important to note that the signing of the now Premier League star back in 2016 would set the wheels in motion for an ideology that would promote sustained success. In 2016, the now former Palace boss Patrick Vieira was at the helm, and he brought in a free-flowing, press-based system. Now, this was key and helped birth a formidable strike partnership between David Villa and Jack Harrison, which saw the Citizens qualify for the playoffs for the first time in the club's history. And this is important for two reasons. New York City achieved the second lowest points tally in the league just the season prior to this and were nowhere near the playoffs. And Vieira achieved success through the implementation of a more fluid attacking approach, which would later set the course for further success under Ronnie Deila, who would go on to win the MLS Cup in 2021. So now we get into the juicy bits of this present-day New York City side and their modernised tactical approach. With former Manchester City women's manager Nick Cushing at the helm, New York City have carried on this notion of fluidity within their playing style, but have also prioritised shape, developing a modernised systematical approach in the process. Their recruitment of young, promising talents in the likes of Thales Magno, Gabriel Pereira and Santiago Rodriguez is helping the side to develop the true identity of a Citigroup club, with this now showing on the pitch through their smart and attractive build-up methods. In the Premier League, we're used to seeing the goalkeeper heavily involved in the build-up, particularly when watching the likes of Brighton, Arsenal and, you guessed it, Manchester City. In the MLS, whilst there are some notable exceptions, this concept wasn't as common on the whole last season. Now, interestingly, New York City were the exception, and while Sean Johnson did a fine job last season, Luis Barraza has taken the role of sweeper-keeper to an even greater level in the States. Cushing has Barraza heavily involved in the build-up, forming a three-base build-up between centre-back duo Maxime Chanot and Thiago Martins. This season, the 26-year-old goalkeeper ranks 10th in the squad for most accurate passes per 90, clocking up an astonishing average of around 32 accurate passes per game. And it gets even better than that too. In the 3-1 win against FC Dallas, Barraza played an integral role in the build-up phase from deep and completed 45 passes with an accuracy of 88%. For comparison, Manchester City goalkeeper Ederson has averaged a total of 27 passes this season, in what is an increase from last term. So with 45 passes in the game against Dallas, it emphasises Barraza's importance to the side in the first phase. Now with that covered, the interesting thing here is the consistency to which this build-up pattern occurs. The Citizens are entirely comfortable in working the ball back to the goalkeeper and look to restart the attack in multiple scenarios throughout the 90 minutes. And there's good reason for this. Cushing is a big advocate for drawing the opposition out of their defensive shape, and he does this through the method of artificial transition. Now, Roberto de Zerbi's emergence in the Premier League has highlighted the advantages that this can bring, with his Brighton side possessing a build-up style that has Pep Guardiola, of all people, waxing lyrical, with the Manchester City boss saying this in a recent interview. That is the best team in the world in making the build-up. The best team is Brighton. There's no better team that makes the process to bring the keeper the ball to the last quarter. There's no team better in modern football right now. Now, as you can see here, Cushing has fully invested in this build-up style and instructs his side to play out from deep. Now, this example is from a goal kick. Including the goalkeeper, there are 6 players in the defensive third, and midfield pivot James Sands is on the ball. We're actually 2 passes into this sequence, so it starts with Barraza, who plays the ball to Martins, Martins to Sands, Sands to Ilinic, Ilinic back to Sands, who comes short for the ball, and Sands then offloads to Ledesma, who works the ball back to Ilinic, who's hugging the touchline. And this is where New York City look to work the angles. Ilinic works the ball back to Sands, who's under pressure, with the NYC captain passing first time to Martins, who delicately spreads the ball to Brian Coufret out on the left. And Bosch, they're well on the way to the attacking third. It's important to note that during this 9-pass exchange in the deep areas, 5 Dallas players get baited into pressing the Citizens' back line and are consequently drawn out of position. Coufret then carries the ball towards the final third as the attack immediately gains momentum. Now, it goes without saying that this can be a risky manoeuvre and clearly requires a shoot ball playing players in the deep areas of the pitch in order to carry out the task effectively. But when it works, it gives the team in possession the ability to attack with numerical superiority in a transition-like state. These aforementioned modernised tactical themes are just a couple of reasons as to why New York City are flexing their muscle as a City Group club, with their principles of play arguably the most attractive in the MLS in this current moment. Their ability to bait the opposition into pressing them in the first phase of the build-up is akin to that of Zerbi's Brighton side, though their fluidity in and around the final third is similar to that of Manchester City, their bigger brothers across the pond. Nick Cushing has a lot of talent at his disposal, with one of those players becoming a symbol of relationism. If you know, you know. If you can guess who this player is, then chuck it in the comment section down below. And whilst you're down there, drop a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this one. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.